everyone, and welcome to our cost of living webinar about supermarket shopping. I had a lot of fun with this one, with a trip to the supermarket and a bit of online research to pull together some prices for you to be able to compare what you would expect to spend here in Portugal on your grocery items versus your homeland. For me, it's a big comparison with Australia, which is where I'm from. Everything is so much cheaper here than back home, but I guess you'll be able to see what kind of things you want to purchase and the cost. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so I just wanted to start off by saying there are probably 8 major supermarkets, but this isn't all of them. There are some others that are around as well, but these are the main 8 players in the marketplace. Some of them are regular supermarkets like Continent and Pingo Doce and Auchan, and then you've got the discount stores such as Aldi, Lidl and Mini Presso. There are supermarkets on every single corner. There are so many here for the population that it's easy to sort of drop into each of them and have your favorite produce from each supermarket, which is what I do. I have to go to 3 or 4 different supermarkets to get all my favorite items. I can't just go to one. Oops, I'll go back. So firstly, I based all these prices on what the store's home brands were. So the entry level, the cheaper option if you go to the supermarket. And I also did it at Continent Supermarket. So if you wanted to spend more on better items, you could. For example, butter, you don't have to go for the home brand. You could go for something a little bit more fancy, but for the sake of putting this presentation together, I kept it at the home brand, unless it's a brand specific item, which there are some as well. So things like fresh milk is around 79 cents per litre. Cheese and eggs are 1.79 for 12. Greek natural yogurt, for example, €2.15 for 1 kilogram. I'll flick through these. Then meat and poultry, which is probably where you'll see the biggest savings if it's compared to Australia, where meat and poultry and fish is extremely expensive. But here you've got free range chicken for a whole one. You're looking at around €2.99 per kilo. Ground beef or minced beef, you're looking at around €11.48 per kilo, but that's a premium cut of beef, the bovino. You can get cheaper, and you can also get pre-packet minced beef, which is much cheaper as well, but it's got a lot of additives in it. So when I'm at the supermarket, I choose to go to the butcher that's within the supermarket and pick my meat and ask them to mince it there on the spot so that it doesn't have all those additives. But you can get cheaper ones, but I'm not too sure what it's mixed with. Pork loin, which is a fabulous cut of pork, very tender. You're looking at €6.49 per kilo for that. And turkey, which is a very popular dish here in Portugal as well, for the breast, you're looking around €5.99 per kilo. So very, very affordable, and great options there for you. So in the seafood, Portuguese people eat a lot of seafood. So in each supermarket, you will find, I guess, a fish shop where you can go and they will prepare the fish for you from scratch. So you just point out which fish it is that you want, and they will clean it for you on the spot. There's also an assortment of different seafood, such as prawns and octopus and calamari and other things. So the prices are very affordable in the supermarket as well. So for a kilogram of freshly cooked prawns, which are usually really, really good, you're looking around €10.99. Back in Australia, would be looking at about $30 for that. So it's definitely economical. Mussels are around €2.99 per kilo. Whole trout, which I'm always surprised with this, because trout's one of my favorite eating fish, but we're looking at about €4.19 per kilo. So you can feed a family for under €5 for that. Octopus, which they call polvo here in Portugal, is probably one of the more expensive seafoods at around €11.99 per kilo. And then you've got the side of a salmon or salmon loin for around €16.99 as well, but still very, very economically friendly in my consideration. Once you get to the pantry, we've got a lot of very affordable items here. I don't think there's many places that you can get things for under €1 or $1 these days, but here we've got pasta from 45 cents a packet, flour from 49 cents, olive oil. So for the big 3 litres of home brand, you're looking around €10.99. Vinegar is only 49 cents, canned tomatoes 43 cents, ketchup is 64 cents. So you can see that it's really well funded, good prices. Things like Kellogg's All Brand, which you can get here quite easily in Portugal, is a little bit more up there, probably because it is a brand name. So you're looking around €4.49 for that one, and a block of good dark chocolate will cost you around €1.59. So some prices for you to keep in mind there. So for drinks, we're looking at around, for instant coffee, for a jar of instant coffee, around €1.69. 20 bags of tea, around €1.49. A bottle of Coca-Cola or 1 litre will cost you €1.74. You've got the bottled water here as well for 63 cents each, which is for 6 litres, which is pretty decent. When you get down to the alcoholic beverages, Sagres beer, so a packet of 15 330ml beers will cost you €14.65, but I find that in every 4-week cycle it goes to half price if you know when to follow sales. So beer's a great one to keep an eye out for when it gets reduced, and you can pick up 15 beers for around €6. Gin, say the Tanqueray, which is I guess considered a premium gin, you can get a bottle of that for just under €20, and a bottle of French champagne will knock you back around €49.90. I've just put here plus wine because there's so many wines available in the supermarkets, starting from €1.20 all the way up to €20. So it really depends on what your liking is. But for me personally, I'm quite happy to go and spend about €5 or €6 on a bottle of wine and know that it's going to be a pretty decent wine. So yeah, depending on what your budget is, you can go a little bit cheaper or you can go a little bit more upmarket. But for me, an average of €5 or €6 per bottle for wine. So for toiletries, these again for home brand products, which is probably why they are so cheap. So shampoo and conditioner at around €1.49. A soap bar, so the Dove brand, you're looking around €4.99 here for 4. Again, probably a higher price because it is a brand name. Toilet paper for 24 rolls, you're looking around €3.74. And some toothpaste for whitening, around 84 cents a tube. To clean your house, you're looking at, there's a dishwashing liquid, so 1.5 litres. You're looking at around 99 cents. And dishwasher tablets, the home brand, is around €3.99. If you're like me and prefer the Finnish brand, again, they are usually on the shelves for around €20 per packet, but every 4 or 5 weeks it goes on cycle for half price, and you can pick them up for €9 or €10. The kitchen paper towel, €1.29, and the Surf laundry powder. So for 92 doses, you're looking at around €24.99. So quite expensive in the scheme of things. So the fruit and vegetable section, depending on the seasonality, of course, but as general, so lots of bananas for €1.05 a kilo, lemons around €1.99 a kilo, grapes when they're in season, you can get them for €2.99. Avocados are sold by the kilo here, so €4.99. I know back in Australia I would be paying $4.99 for one, so it's very economical here. Then you've got butternut pumpkin, brown onions, red cabbage, tomatoes, just to give you an idea of the price there. So I did a bit of an experiment. I took some recipes from the famous Jamie Oliver's website, and I cooked them up for my family and priced them out. So in this instance, I cooked this dish, which is roasted salmon and vegetable tray bake with basil and mustard yogurt, So for a serving of 4, the list shows you what I purchased to make this meal, and the total price for me came to €19.67, which was around €4.90 per serve. So quite a economical way to feed a family of 4, just under €5 each. I then took another one, the classic spaghetti bolognese. I cooked this up using the list of ingredients that you can see there, and the total cost for me came to €21.08, which for a family of 4, which we are, €5.27 per person. And then I cooked an apple and date pie using the ingredients listed there. My total cost for making this pie was €5.90. So for a quarter of a piece of the pie, it came to 98 cents per serve, which is pretty good, I think. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Astrid. Thank you so much. I'm impressed with your cooking skills there. So we've got lots of excellent questions, which is a great point for any of the team to chip in who may have something to say about this. David is a great question, and Anna might like to step up to this. Your question, and of course, Maria's special booze insight was very popular as well. So we must go to Maria probably soon after. David, I think your question, let me see if I can find it. Or would you care to ask it yourself? David, are you there?
Yeah, my question was whether the prices are similar in big cities versus small towns or villages, and on the coast versus inland. Anna said that if you use the same supermarket, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's right. But I think there are some other variations that you might experience by being in the respective places. Thanks for the question, David. Team, what are your experiences of that around the place? Which probably is more relevant in the market situation. And of course, most Portuguese towns certainly have a market, and cities have many markets. Anna, do you want to go first on that?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Anna. Good evening.
Good evening. In terms of supermarkets, and from my experience, it's more or less the same price. Some exceptions may be local products like fresh fish. Maybe it's more affordable if you are on the coastal supermarkets because they are closer to the ocean, so the transport issue is less expensive. And in some interior parts of Portugal, I have noticed that vegetables and fruits can be less expensive than, for instance, here in big cities like Lisbon, Cascais, etc. But that is not a rule, and that is not like a big difference. What can be a big difference is the local markets, okay, from the local producers. In small towns, you have more variety of local producers, so the prices will be more affordable than in big cities, okay? And it will be easier to find organic products, of course, because in supermarkets, most of the fruits and vegetables come from big producers, and so it will be different, yeah.
And I'd love to stay with you for a little bit of an insight into the smaller shops, the mom and pop shops, the local shops that I think Portuguese people are quite attached to still. There hasn't been a wholesale, pardon the pun, destruction of smaller shops here in Portugal. People are quite keen to keep their smaller shops in the smaller communities, aren't they?
Yeah, like little groceries from the neighborhood where they know your name, they know what kind of apples you like, and you can take it and pay in the end of the week or something. That is still possible, even in big cities. I have that experience here, and I live in Cascais, which is not small. But on those places, like small groceries, the prices are a little bit more expensive than in the big supermarkets, the big chains of supermarket. But of course, you get to be treated like a king if you go to the same grocery for like 3 weeks in a row, and after that they will know your name, and they will keep your apples in a separate part for you. Yeah.
Well, that is how the upper classes work, isn't it? You go and get your stuff, you're treated like a king, and you pay for it at the end of the month, or somebody goes along and takes care of that.
That is still possible here.
Wow, I didn't know that bit. That's fantastic. And I think
and
that was a nice relief or surprise to many people watching tonight who might like to take
it's
advantage
very
of that.
good also for the ones that have kids, and so they send kids over to the grocery with no money, which is good, and then you pay in the end of the week or something. So
That's
he does
amazing.
not spend everything on chocolates. You do not need to send him with money. Okay.
Oh, wow. And do you have to send a note if it's cigarettes? No, forget I asked.
That's not possible to buy.
That was the old days, wasn't it? Give this
Not
to
even alcohol, okay? The drinks
I'm glad
are.
to hear it. I'm
yeah,
glad to
no.
hear it. Okay, yeah, not like my day. Give the note to the man and don't read it. Okay, excellent stuff. That's really great, Anna. Thank you for that. And you mentioned apples there. I've got something very quickly to share. Some people, when it comes to buying things, are concerned about how many Apple stores there are in Portugal. This is my local Apple store. How about that? That's San Martinho de Porto market. Look at all those varieties there. Isn't that incredible? I haven't asked for extended credit there, but that lady is there every weekend. I think she may well be there during the week. I'm doing a show on a weekday morning, but we go on a Saturday morning. And I just think that is so wonderful, that the care and attention that she gives that stall, like many of the other stall holders. And I'm very proud of our little market here in San Martinho de Porto. Up the top of the hill in the village, there are, how do I stop my share? Have I stopped sharing? I've gone to all my other photographs here, haven't I? In the top of town in San Martinho de Porto, there's still an independent baker, there's a butcher, no candlestick maker, incidentally, but it's lovely to have that experience that you describe, Anna, where you can go and find a small independent shop still here in Portugal, as well as get all those bargains, like the booze bargains that Maria was talking about. 15% off, Maria, are you there?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It seems outrageous to me that you can actually use a coupon towards alcohol purchases, which normally, I was living in the US for the last 20 years. You would certainly never get any kind of a coupon. I mean, every once in a blue moon, Bacardi will give you a $2 off a bottle. But here, yeah, it's just like, it's a grocery. It doesn't matter that you're going to get sloshed with it on the weekend. It's a total grocery. It's just like a carton of milk. So, I mean, this Christmas, people tend to give bottles to service workers and stuff, bottles that they will probably never open. And the person who buys the house will inherit all of the bottles, just like I did. But that's, it's a big savings. It's a big savings. And then it just gets put into your account and then you use it. And I find the shopping here way more sophisticated than I was expecting. I was coming from ShopRites and Publix and all of those stores. And here, like, the apps are, for the big stores, the apps are very, very modern. I don't even take cash. I just take my phone and my Visa card is attached to the Continent site. And of course it means that they're data mining, but who isn't? Everybody is. So whatever, but I'm not worried about, I've got to have money. I've got to have a credit card. It's all on my phone. That's it. So that was a big surprise for me, how sophisticated the supermarkets here are.
Yeah, an incredible choice. I mean, that's one thing, isn't it? And people are fearing missing out on things. I think now we're pretty much there, aren't we, with every possible thing you could want. And if not from a supermarket, then the other specialist stores are online. So you're really not going to be missing out on too much. Is that your experience, Maria?
Yeah, and I mean, I've just discovered Eurodrop, where you can get mincemeat and sausage meat and all sort licorices. So, I think it's €100 minimum for a free delivery, but it's next day delivery. So I do it with a couple of my friends and we split it and we get it. If you order it by 11 in the morning, you're having it the next day. It's coming out of Spain. So it's great. There's no issue.
Hold on a minute. What's that called and what is it?
Eurodrop.
Okay. And this is for all sort of specialty expatty type things, is it?
Yeah, like A1 steak sauce and, Swedish, or no, what are those funny Dutch frikadelles or something like that? Like, they have all kinds of weird things. Yeah.
Did I
Euro
just
drop.
hear you say licorice all sorts, Maria?
Yes.
Might pop round and see you tomorrow.
Oh, I love them. I went to Manchester 3 weeks ago. I went to Manchester for a weekend. And it was just on a shopping trip, and I bought, I don't know, like 3 kilos of licorice, all sorts. Yeah, that's one thing that you can't get here unless it comes from Aldi's on one of their kind of clearing out some British supermarket.
Right. Yeah.
Learning so much tonight, not least go to Manchester for a shopping weekend. I've never heard of that before.
No, I've never heard of anyone going to Manchester for a weekend.
It was awesome. I loved it. I'm going again. I can't wait. I loved it. I'd never been.
We may come back to you on that. Okay, fantastic. Andrew, thank you, Andy, of the Man Cave. Get yourselves the Continent and Pingo Dos loyalty card. That is what there were 2 things you'll be asked for, and we'll come to the other question, of course. The 2 things you're asked for at the counter, generally speaking, in a supermarket. One is, have you got the store card? Not as in your credit card store card, but have you got the loyalty card for the shop? You'll be asked that, and then you'll be asked for your contribuent NIF number. And somebody asked the question, didn't they? Do you have to give that? You don't have to give that; it's optional. And I think Thomas may have something to say about that, as well as some other things with a comparison to Greece. Would you care to do that, Thomas?
Well, the comparison to Greece was just interesting because I noticed that every branch of the same supermarket I went into there, the prices was slightly different, and that just generally isn't the case here. Although I've put in the chat a quite boring detail, the fact that the franchise stores here do vary because their individual management sets the prices and the stock to some extent. The NIF thing, there's loads of stuff on this that's been on the forum and that kind of thing, but essentially there are sort of tax reduction amounts each year that you can benefit from on general spend, and that can include things like supermarket shopping and that kind of thing. But the reality is that there are various types of purchase across the year that you make where you have to attach your NIF. So if you buy a car, if you buy a large appliance, those kind of things, it gets included anyway. So it isn't worth giving your NIF for every supermarket shop as a general rule. There are conspiracy theories around the fact that, there's some great thing about gathering all the data for the government. If anybody believes that the Portuguese state is that efficient, lovely. I don't subscribe to that. I think, if someone's being investigated for tax dodging, they'll probably see what's going on. Other than that, I don't think for a normal person they really care. But if you were a self-employed person, a sole trader, and you were spending a lot more than you were earning, then I think that's the kind of thing that would flag. But otherwise, give it, don't give it, it probably doesn't matter. I tend to give mine, I don't know, once or twice a month on a large shop, just to make sure I get the tax reduction that I'm entitled to. The details of that are probably more than we want to talk about this evening, but there is stuff on the forum, and I'm sure we can chat another time about that if people want to.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for that, Thomas. And you have yours laminated, if I remember from a previous conversation, your NIF number. And I think there's inside your wallet, as the most efficient people do, they write it down. I had it on the back of a business card of mine in my wallet for a while. I think there's a curve, isn't there, of when you first start, you're bemused by it, and there's a real breakthrough when you find out what you're being asked for in the supermarket. Then when you've got your NIF number and you've learned how to say it in Portuguese, you're very proud and you give it on every occasion. And then maybe after about a year or two, no, obrigado. People, and then you become quite Portuguese about it, and the old boy in front of you just kind of scowls when he's asked for his NIF number. As he's quite affronted by that, and I think after a little while you can become quite the same as an expat with that. But so there are several stages of NIFness. If I can put it like that. Organics then, Jen, you're asking that question. If you mean mainly on the foodstuffs, who would like to pick that up? Because it's not quite, the farmer's market thing's a little bit different, isn't it? There's not necessarily, there is a good range, but it's not quite like America probably. Who might have that comparison, or even with Australia, or even with the UK, but who wants to talk about organic premiums here in Portugal, in the supermarkets? Nobody. Oh, Maria, thank you, Maria.
No, I mean, I really rarely buy organic because most of the stuff that I'm buying, I mean, I grow a lot of my own produce, and so I know what's going into that. The produce that I'm picking up at the markets, I know some old lady with 3 skirts on and a scarf on her head. She's not going to spend money for a bag of fertilizer, so I'm feeling pretty good that that's as organic as I need it to be. And I find that a lot of produce isn't labeled organic, even if it is, because people are like, of course it's organic. What do you think? You know, it's just kind of the default is it is organic. But for example, I shop a lot at Continente, at Pingo Doce. They've got very big, not huge, but they've got big sections on vegan, gluten-free, bio products, which, you know, I particularly think a lot of it is just, you know, a very clever marketing scheme for some of the products, but there definitely is products that are labeled bio, organic, 100% organic. So, you know, the big supermarkets I find are much more sophisticated. I've got a vegan coming to stay with me for 2 months in February, so it will be interesting for that kind of shopping to see what is going to be available in terms of kind of, you know, sweets. You know, what is she going to want to have for a sobremesa after lunch? What am I going to make? What are we going to make for her to have for breakfast? And I think that she probably will be a bit more concerned about the organics than I am. I mean, I drink like a fish and I used to smoke a pack a day. What is organics going to do for me now? I'm 57, so.
There you go. I meant to say earlier on that the prices given are not financial advice and can go up as well as down. And nor was that health advice from Maria there. That was just a personal lifestyle choice, not a recommendation. Although I think a lot of people will probably agree with you. Thea and Sunil, good evening to you both. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Europe, bio on the label equals certified organic, right? That does seem to be the designation. Thank you for that, Thomas, who also goes on to say, yeah, to the question from Lisa, do you get some kind of tally from regarding your NIF at the year end? Yes, you do. When you learn how to penetrate the Portal de Finanzas, you can go in there and you can look at your own spending on your, I mean, really a NIF number is like a tax code and you can see what you spend in various areas, including groceries, as we're talking about tonight, but it spreads across all kinds of expenditure, your car maintenance, your vet bills, all of that sort of stuff, for which you get an allowance against your tax bill. Andy makes another good point. Don't forget, there's always the higher end shopping available. El Corte Inglés for the Lisboetas, for the lettuce munchers, yes. Not necessarily elsewhere out in the sticks. Although I have to say, in Caldas Serena, the Leclerc store, which is French in origin, I believe, has the most amazing high-end sort of stuff, including fresh sushi in there. So the most incredible things are happening. And good to go back to you, Maria. Bio stuff, biologique, the vegan, vegetarian offerings in all the supermarkets, I noticed, just seem to be getting better and better on each visit. So that's good news, I think, for a lot of people as well. Okay, team, we will go to, we'll end the recording soon, but go to a bit of a hands up for those more personal questions when it comes to shopping. I mean, hopefully not deeply personal, but the sort of thing that we won't be putting on the public recording. Is there anything we've missed that we should tell everybody? If the AOE team might step forward. Maria.
One thing that we haven't talked about, it maybe just because I'm in a little village outside of Tomar, 7 kilometers outside of Tomar, is we have bread delivery. I've talked about this before.
Yes.
In these things. We have bread delivery every day except Sunday, and on holidays except Christmas and Easter. And so I have my little cloth bag that I leave on the gate. I used to have to actually, excuse me, wait until he honked and run out and then go outside and what type of bread does he have? Now I just got his number and I just text him in the morning and say, you know, a round bread. I don't know the names of anything. I just say a round bread, 4 small brown breads. And he leaves it on the fence and I pay at the end of the month. And I have to chase him to pay. Like he's never once said, oh, you owe me XX. I've always got to say, Vasco, let's go. How much do I need to pay you? It's like 3 months now. Oh, 18 euros, whatever it is. And there's also an 11 o'clock pastry guy that comes around. But he only stops if he knows that you'll use him. And there's a fish guy once a week. And up the road, there's a fruit van, but he doesn't go down our road, but I'm sure that I could call him and say, come down the road. So if you're living in a village, it might be that you have a lot of things coming to you, including the knife sharpening guy who goes on a bike with a little flute, and he makes a little, and then you run outside with your scissors and your knives. It's like Game of Thrones.
It is, or something from a Roald Dahl book.
And umbrellas.
Yes.
Also umbrellas to fix.
Yes.
Hold on a minute. What was that? You can get umbrellas fixed.
Yeah. If you have an umbrella that is broken, the same guy that comes to fix the knives and everything, he fixes umbrellas.
That's quite incredible, isn't it? So there are people, and probably sort of frugal expats who bought an umbrella from a Chinese shop, which we haven't talked about yet tonight. We may go into that phenomenon, but they bought a $1.99 Chinese shop umbrella, and it's been repaired 20 times by the guy on the bike, which represents some of the best value you're going to find in Europe for an umbrella. I think I've not seen that. That sounds to me like expat Jedi stuff. The later stages, and this was meant to be quite entry level, but that's a nice little insight into some of the things that go on in the villages around Tamar, Maria. Thank you very much for that. And how many plates? Is there another? Are there more new plates behind you there? I think there might be. Each time the collection increases. No new plates, everybody. Okay, Anna, to you, masa and masa, because you could go home with the wrong thing. Andy would like a pronunciation on that if possible, please.
So apple. Maçã, it's more nasal, the A in the end, it's maçã. And massa, like pasta, massa.
Okay, thank you. And is that also
maçã?
Yeah, maçã.
Massa.
And massa. Is massa also flour as well?
Yes,
okay.
Bread, flour, yeah, massa de pão. And also money. Money makes the world go round, yeah. You can say massa.
Show me the massa, Jerry.
Yeah, show me the massa. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. The other thing that was being asked about, a little bit outside the supermarket, although not necessarily, because the bigger stores are doing the domestic goods as well, and the smart TVs. There seems to be no escape from that. Great question there on buying electricals. There are the specific electrical white goods kind of stores, Wharton and Radio Populaire. I know there's at least one person who's not too happy with Radio Populaire and wouldn't call them that. But I think it's got better and better. And we've just had the ubiquitous global phenomenon of Black Friday. And there have been some good bargains around. You're not going to struggle to get anything like that here either in Portugal, apart from the hugest of American walk-in fridges. Can anyone help with that? Because that might be a bit of a prerequisite for some North Americans, the walk-in fridge almost. Can anyone speak about that from our team here? I think not.
They are available in every store right now. Yeah.
Yes.
They are available. Radio Popular got them on special offer at the moment.
The great big American fridges.
Yes. And you can get them secondhand sometimes at rather better prices because they're hideously expensive because they're imported.
There are also stores that sell appliances that have like small scratches, like if they are in an exhibition, and so they are a little bit with a scratch. They are not perfect, but they are working perfect, so it's an aesthetic defect, and so they sell it for sometimes half the price. So it's good to know where those stores are.
Yeah, you tend to get them in odd places under apartment buildings in suburbs. But you can find them on things like OLX, which is the kind of the eBay equivalent here, OLX.pt. I got an American fridge at about, I don't know, 20% of the price of one of those. And it only leaks a little bit when it's very hot. But the rest of the year, it's fine.
Can the umbrella guy not repair it for you?
Yes, next time the knife guy comes, I'll run out into the street with my knives, as was suggested, and see what happens.
Yeah, be careful out.
About 2 weeks ago, I had to buy a new fridge freezer. I was finally packed up And we went to Vortons and Euronics, I think. So I think, Andrew, you mentioned Euronics. And we checked prices at the two, and Euronics were hands down the better price and the better service, delivered the next day and took away the old one. And they beat the prices in the bigger stores. So I recommend Euronics. I think they're pretty good.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. Top tip there. And of course, when I'm talking about American fridges, to the Americans, that is just a fridge, isn't it? It's just when you come to Europe, you might be shocked at how small the fridges are here. That's something to bear in mind as well. Gluten-free, yes. Again, a bit like the vegan and vegetarian offerings, much more choice. And certainly in Continent, there's that section which is kind of vegan, vegetarian, health food, bodybuilder part of the shop as well. So we can get all the protein stuff as well. So you can get that too over here in Portugal. I'm wondering if I've missed anything. The delivery of those items, Jerry, Euronics, presumably when you buy something from them or from the supermarket, you can get a grocery delivery, which I'm sure would extend to delivering a smart TV from their range. How's that with Euronics? You must have had that delivered from
Yes, the delivery was included in the price. It was didn't cost me anything extra. And I think actually they have to now take away the old stuff and recycle it.
Very good.
I think I'm not 100%, don't quote me on this, Anna, you might know, but I think by law, they have to take it away.
Okay.
Yes,
so, yeah.
They have to take the old one. If you ask them, of course, you can keep both of them.
You can keep it, but yes, they take it away.
Okay. That, I think, is everything. Oh, Andy Gilchrist wants to add something there. Go on, Andy.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Jerry said. I bought a lot of appliances in the last couple of years in Portugal, and I've used a range of all of them, from Radio Popular, Vorten, and the Euronics independents. My best experience will be the Euronics retailers, because they're small independent businesses and they offer the best prices and best service, typically. My own worst experience was Radio Popular. I bought an American fridge freezer style from them, and it was new but came damaged, and they took no responsibility for it. And to fit it into the house, they took the doors off and then left it with the doors off. So yeah, as per my experiences, the independents, there's a really good one in Lisbon, right in the centre of Lisbon, and they'll literally have it to you the same day or next day. Fitted, commissioned, like I said, take the old one away.
How do you find such a place? Because you know, we're led, aren't we? And in a new country, you're going to go to the big brands. You're going to go with what you're familiar with, and not too scary. So finding an independent, how would one go about that?
Do you know what that is? What I did is I went on Google Maps, put in my home address, and said, "Where's the nearest places for, I don't know, a tumble dryer?" I think we were looking for. And up popped all these shops around Lisbon, and I looked at them all on the list that the Google Maps gives you, and then I went to Street View to see what they were, and I saw the Euronics logo. Now, years ago when my father was working, he was a independent retailer of electronics, and he was a member of Euronics. So I know Euronics is for independent businesses. So it's kind of the anti-corporations. If you want to go shopping locally, support the little guys, the Euronics ones are the place to go.
Okay, and that's EURONIX.
Like electronics, but Euronics.
Euronics there for you.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat, Carl.
There is in the chat, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, EURONICS for you. Alison, thank you. Yes, and you'll find that in the chat, as Jerry says there. Food mixers, the Vitamix, the KitchenAid, all available here. And a little point there. I know we're moving away from supermarket shopping. We're talking about what you do with the stuff after you bought it from the supermarket. But with things with motors, they're often not great things to use with transformers. So you probably are better off starting afresh here in Portugal. And you can get most of those brands that you're familiar with, maybe a little bit of a premium if you want to stay with the same brand, or there again, you might be able to find a local equivalent. Rose, is an EU digital COVID certificate needed to enter supermarkets? No, not at this time. That's not a requirement. I'll be visiting Portugal later this month for 2 months and have been hearing of new COVID restrictions in public venues. That's never happened. in Portugal. Actually, that's not been the case any time in Portugal.
Restaurants.
Restaurants only.
If they are inside, if you stay in the esplanade, no problem.
Yeah, there you go. So yes, and cafes, you're fine as well. There's often a small charge, says Thomas. Do you want to expand on that? I caught you unawares there.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
Most of these things, like the recycling, there is often a small charge for the physical taking away of it. They're not allowed to charge for the recycling bit, but they can charge for actually taking it when they go if they're delivering something. Also, most of the setup and things, they're usually small additional costs that if you haven't asked for in advance, they often won't do. Sometimes it's just they're shoddy and they should do it and they don't. But if you want something installed, then make sure you try and ask for that at the outset just to be sure you get it. And I also mentioned in there that it also depends on the delivery, because some of these places deliver it from the store and they've often got really good teams of people. But sometimes it comes from a warehouse with people who really don't care and they've got 20 deliveries to make and they just want to get rid of them. So if it's important, ask the questions and you'll normally get a sensible answer, I've found.
Excellent, Thomas. Thank you very much for that. I think that just about wraps it up. We'll go to hands up questions in just a moment, but just want to thank Astrid again. As Lonnie said, this is so well done, referring to the earlier presentation. I don't know if you want to add anything, Astrid, after all you've heard from everybody.
No, but if anyone wants a copy of it, they can feel free to email me. My email address is just above my head here, and I'm happy to email it to you. So if you want a copy and learn the Portuguese translation for those grocery items too.
That was noticed and noted. To have the Portuguese translation next to all those items was really good as well. Astrid at expatsportugal.com for that. I think Jerry wanted to add something.
Well, only that, Astrid, will we also get a slice of that apple and date cake?
All gone.
No, it's gone.
It's very worth asking, I guess. Thank you, Astrid. So useful from Denise there. Thank you all as well from Tammy. This information is invaluable. Superb. Okay, we'll leave it there for the recording. Thank you very much.